Okay, engine swap is underway. This is just going to be a quick video to show some of the comparisons between the Vanguard and the old Intek, which is sitting over there. One comparison I did notice, the spacing between the exhaust is exactly the same between the Vanguards and the Inteks. So you can actually use an Intek muffler on the Vanguard engine, which is nice. I did not know that. Unfortunately though, in saying that, I don't have the stock muffler for this, or if I do, I gotta try and find it. So I'm gonna have to kind of redneck the actual muffler down there in the hole. The nice thing is, this is a bit of a comparison. We got the oil pressure sender, and a big difference between the Intek and the Vanguards. The Vanguards have two oil drains. They actually give you one at the very back. As you can see, I already got my temp sensor in there, and then you got the other one on the other side as well. So I'll be able to leave the stock drain alone. I won't have to put any fittings on there to get a temp sensor in place. So I'm using the one at the back, so it's less likely of a chance of having any leaks, which is very nice. So they did something right when they built these engines. I think they put those in place at the back because these engines had multiple different applications. So some engines need to be able to drain at the back, some engines need to be able to drain at the side. So whatever one fit with the tractor, they would use. This one here came out of the Husqvarna four-wheel steer, so having the drain at the back wouldn't have worked, but on, who knows, on a zero turn, that's maybe where you would have needed it. So also the wiring right here, I do have a 2-wire coming off the voltage regulator. This one right here is my carb solenoid, and this one right here is my kill wire. I had to unfortunately cut this wire from the original harness, but I'm going to be cutting this wire right here as well, so I can insert my own harness in here. What I'll do is I'll cut this one back far enough and clip this back onto the original harness, just to utilize this clip at a later date if I need to. But as far as I can tell, this here should just plug straight in. You can check that right now. Yep, it does, and actually the color match is exactly the same. Blue to blue, red to red. So the charging side is identical. It's just the kill wire and the wire that would go to the carburetor solenoid, backfire prevention solenoid, whatever you want to call it, is a little bit different between the Intek and the Vanguard, which for me it's very easy to do. And this wire right here is my oil temp. So instead of it connecting up right here, which I'll show on the other engine how I had it in a second, this will just fish around to the back of the engine, and it should actually get a much more accurate reading since it's straight into the actual sump of the engine, instead of having it coming out this tube like this. This is actually the plug that was in the back of the Vanguard. I just took it off and put it on here, and the original oil temperature sensor, I just plugged it back into this engine here. I might utilize that on this engine in its new application, or I will end up putting a gauge back on. We'll see. But this engine here, it needs some work. It needs some love. You see all the wiring's still all intact, which is good. I actually found a couple of pieces from the starter, but they probably most likely fell on the ground now. Not a big deal. So I'm going to locate what I need for the exhaust, or I'll redneck the exhaust for now. As long as it stays up in place, it'll be fine, and I'll go from there. I don't quite remember what I kept from the original tractor on this, because I did include a few things for the lady who bought the frame. So also I'm gonna have to get an air filter. There is no air filter in here, unfortunately. The guy did pretty much a rebuild on this engine, other than pistons, piston rings and stuff like that. He did all the gaskets, but he did not put a new air filter in, unfortunately. So if I can't get one by the time I need to use this, I'll make an air filter out of some foam, but hopefully I'll be able to get one from my parts store. I looked on eBay. I thought I found one, but it looked too small, so I'm gonna have to try and find an air filter. Actually, I found a box that would take the round filter, but I don't know if it would fit this engine or not. This engine's being a 14 horse, it's the smaller of the Vanguard series, but it still shares a lot of characteristics of the Vanguards. I do believe the blocks are all the same. It's just the valving and the carburetors that are the only difference between the 14s, 16, 18, 20s, and I believe these go up to 25. But I'm pretty sure the blocks will be the same. So that's pretty much it. If anyone has any answers for any of my questions, please leave it in the comment section below. I'll talk to them later. Please keep right neck like always, and please try and comment.